This person here says, Tom, it's not that you and your pro-choice care that much about women's health. You just don't care about babies dying. Okay. First, I will say that not a single abortion in the history of humankind has ever resulted in the death of a baby. So that's not a thing. It has resulted in the termination of a pregnancy. It is resulting in the termination of a fetus, but not the death of a baby. Tom, they're the same thing. No, they're not. There's a reason why you call one a fetus and another one a baby, because they're two different things. They're two different things. You guys claim to care about women, children, and babies, but then you continuously show how you don't care about any of those. I'm going to give you a case in point. And this is just one of untold number of cases that could be brought up. But this one has been talked about recently again as the anniversary of it came back up, and it was just a couple of years ago that it happened. So we're going to use this one as an example. A few years ago, a 10-year-old girl in the state of Ohio was raped. As a result of that rape, she became pregnant. Her parents her mom took her to the hospital to get an abortion, but the state had just passed an anti-abortion law. And the doctors at the hospital informed the mom they could not perform the surgery because they weren't sure whether or not they were going to wind up in prison as a result of it. So ultimately, the mother took the little girl across state lines to Indianapolis specifically, and had the procedure performed. To this day, people on your side of the aisle are trying to prosecute that doctor because they believe it was wrong for that doctor to do so. They believe that 10-year-old girl should have carried that pregnancy to term, should have had the rapist's baby. 10-year-old girls are not physically ready to have children. A 10-year-old girl is at severe risk of dying as a result of being pregnant at that age and carrying a pregnancy. If you cared about children, you would have demanded that those doctors in Ohio perform that abortion for the 10-year-old girl's sake, if you cared about children. If you cared about babies, you would not have tried to put a baby into the hands of what would have been at the time an 11-year-old girl to raise. You don't give a shit about children and babies in the least bit. If you did, you wouldn't be forcing children to have babies. Can you imagine the life that 10-year-old girl already has to live as a result of being raped at that age, having to undergo an abortion at that age, and being in the national spotlight at that age? Her life has forever been altered just as a result of that. Can you imagine what would have happened to her life if at 10, people like you got their wish and she was forced to carry a pregnancy to term and became a mother at 11, all while people like you claim to care about babies and children?